name is John Vella. I'm an English teacher at Loyola High School, and I currently teach AP English Literature 4 for seniors and English 1 for freshmen. The lesson is a self-evaluation that is a very different kind of writing assignment from what my students traditionally do. First, we talk about it as, what does a self-evaluation mean, right? What does it mean to really evaluate yourself? And we first of all try to establish that this is not an opportunity to berate yourself or criticize yourself. I do find that sometimes, especially with young men, they can gravitate towards the more critical side, and they tend not to celebrate their own real strengths. So that's the first part of it, is evaluation doesn't mean self-criticism. The idea is that you have to consider areas of strength and areas of growth. And I go in quite significant detail about those because I don't want students to just be talking vaguely about my strengths are in reading and writing, or I'm a person who is always prepared for class. Let's really dig down and be more specific about what it means to have a strength and how you exhibit that strength and how you continue to refine and work on that. And then we think about areas of growth. What are places in your life where you feel like there's a possibility for you to improve and grow and develop? And I try to connect that to, the way we think about the examen, right? When we think about the examen, it's, how did God appear for you in the last 24 hours? How did God call to you in the next 24 hours to be closer to God or to be the person you can be? Well, that's really what this assignment is asking you to reflect on a very personal level. I really encourage them to use the virtues of the grad at grad as a framework for how to evaluate strengths and areas of growth. If I can talk to them about the grad at grad a little bit, and I usually start with openness to growth, because areas of growth is a part of the assignment. So, and for me, I feel like openness to growth is kind of the key that unlocks all the other virtues in a way. So I talk to them about that, like, okay, when you've had opportunities to learn new things and be challenged, what has your response been? How would you like to respond in the future? I give them this little timeline, for how to complete the assignment. The first couple days, just kind of ponder it. And how do these terms even apply to you as a person? Giving them sort of habituation to this new kind of reflection. And then I say, don't even try to write it until 2 or 3 or 4 days before it's due. Give yourself a few days to think about it, and then give yourself a couple days to write it. And the paper usually ends up being about 1 page to 1.5 pages, somewhere between 300 and 500 words. I introduce a guiding metaphor. A rough cut stone that has just been pulled out of the quarry and is going to be delivered to Michelangelo, and he's going to shape it into his David, right? And of course, right, once you tell the boys, like, oh, we're going to talk about you as a masterpiece, as David, then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, okay, this is, there's something a little bit silly about that, right? But there's this immediate playfulness about that metaphor, and I force them to use that metaphor by actually giving them the first and last sentence of the essay. And the first sentence is always, I am a rough-hewn stone. Already somewhat refined, but still with potential that needs to be worked on. And their very last sentence has to be, then I will truly be a masterpiece. My final injunction to them is, I've given you the first line. I've given you the last line. Your job is to connect, to draw the connection from first line to last line, right? How do you get from where you are now as a rough cut stone to where you want to be as a masterpiece? This is a very powerful assignment for them, because I always present it to them as, you have 4 months left at Loyola. When we're doing this in February, we have 4 months left at Loyola. You have 6 months until you're waking up in a dorm room for your first day of classes. Where are you right now on your journey? And where do you want to be when you wake up that first day in your university dorm room? Honestly, it really hits them emotionally, because I think for the first time when they come back as second semester seniors, they really feel the clock ticking on their time at Loyola. And to be able to give them that experience of marking their own growth and a way of charting it, it really helps me to feel like I've given them some tools to be reflective, and that's a hard thing to do for a young person. The whole assignment was inspired by something I was asked to do as part of my first year Ignatian spirituality program as a new faculty member. And, you know, even as an alum of a Jesuit high school, that self-evaluation that I was asked to do was the first time I was introduced to this concept of Ignatian reflection as a part of Ignatian pedagogy. And I found it just an amazing assignment for me after 1 year teaching, to try to think for myself about what were my areas of strength as a young teacher, as a new teacher, where were my areas of growth. If you're a teacher in an Ignatian school, at a Jesuit school, this is a really nice way to feel like you're meaningfully incorporating your own subject matter. You know, for me, writing and composition, you're incorporating your own subject matter with the values and mission statement of your school. And that's a big deal.